Hello everyone. Welcome sa lesson natin on electromagnetic induction. Okay, so just a quick announcement lang. If you haven't read the email, this is the last chapter that is included dun sa third exam. So, merong 3 chapters tayong kasama dun sa third exam. Magnetic field and magnetic forces, which is chapter 27. Sources of magnetic fields, chapter 28, at saka itong electromagnetic induction sa chapter 29 dun sa ating reference na Young and Friedman. Okay, so itong electromagnetic induction is actually not that complicated, okay, in the sense na yung idea behind it is establishes yung relationship between yung electric field at saka magnetic field. So, and even though na ganun lang kasimple yung concept, yung implications nito ay far-reaching kasi this establishes yun nga, yung relationship between electric and magnetic field, which leads to yung idea ng electromagnetic wave, okay? And which leads to the concept of light na pag-aaralan natin as part of the coverage dun sa fourth exam. Okay, so let's begin with this lesson. So let's take a look at this figure. Dito sa figure na ito, makikita nyo na merong coil, okay, at merong magnet. And then meron ditong galvanometer. Basically, ang ginagawa lang ng galvanometer is minimeasure na yung current, okay, which also indicates or which is also an indication of the voltage or sabihin na nating electromotive force na napoproduce. Okay. So, murahin ko lang sandali itong arrow na ito. Oops. Okay, so anong nangyayari dito sa figure na ito? So, dito sa figure A, okay, merong isang magnet na suspended above the coil. Okay, and of course, in this case, walang nag-generate na EMF. Okay. Now, if you put the magnet inside the coil, as the magnet is moving within the coil, nag-generate siya ng current. Okay? If you put the magnet in a direction that is downward, ang current na na-generate niya ay itong direction ito. And then, if you start to pull the magnet upward, okay? So, mula dun sa loob, hinila mo na siya pataas, ang ma-generate niya ngayong current ay itong direction na ito. So, nagmamatter kung ano yung direction ng current depende sa direction ng paglagay nyo ng magnet within the coil. So again, if you put the magnet inside in this direction, andito yung direction ng current, and if you move the magnet or you pull the magnet outward from the coil, you have this direction for the current. Okay. Now, dito sa next figure, sige, yan na natin yan. So dito sa next figure, we have a coil. Oops. Okay, we have a coil that is a second coil that is connected to a battery or to a voltage source. Alam natin na pag naglagay tayo ng current, ng wire, kinonect natin dito sa voltage source. Okay? Tapos, meron tayong coil dito. Magpo-produce yung coil na yan ng magnetic field. And ang magiging effect nito is that pag pinasok natin itong smaller coil dun sa larger coil, mag-generate siya ng current. And pag nilabas natin ulit yung coil na yan, mag-generate din siya ng current in the opposite direction. Okay, so this coil actually acts in the same way as kung paano nag-act yung magnet dito sa coil na ito. Okay, now there's another phenomenon that can lead to a change in a change in the current or the production of a current or the production of a voltage or an electromotive force. Imagine na stationary lang itong coil na ito, itong smaller coil dito sa bigger coil. So hindi gumagalaw yan, hindi gumagalaw. Pag hindi yan gumagalaw, it's like this. Okay? Hindi gumagalaw yung magnet relative to the coil, so walang nag-generate na current. Now, ang gagawin lang natin is simply to close the switch. Okay? At the instant na kinlose nyo yung switch, mag-generate yan ng current. Okay? And since hindi naman gumagalaw ito relative dito, bababa ulit yung current pabalik sa zero. Okay? Now, at the instant na i-open nyo ulit yung switch, mag-generate siya ng current in the opposite direction and then dahan-dahan siyang papalik sa zero. So anong napapansin natin dito sa simple na, na experiment na ito? You only generate currents or voltages or electromagnetic forces pag merong varying na magnetic field. Okay? This movement inside and outside of the coil is a varying magnetic field. Kasi relative dito sa coil, nakikita niya yung pagbabago ng magnetic field dito. In the same way, yung movement ng smaller coil na ito inside and outside the coil, okay, remember na yung coil nito ay nag-generate ng magnetic field and yung magnetic field na yan ay hindi naman constant. So, habang pumapasok siya dyan, okay, nagwa-vary yung magnetic field and pag nilabas niyo, magwa-vary din yung magnetic field. Now, in this case, yung magnetic field is constant relative sa isa't isa. Pero, of course, dito, wala kang, pag open yung switch, wala ka pang current, so wala ka pang magnetic field, di ba? Pero pag kinlose mo yung switch, bigla siya magkakaroon ng current and then bigla rin siya magkakaroon ng magnetic field. So from zero magnetic field to some value of the magnetic field, so merong change in magnetic field from zero to some value. Yung change na yun at that instant na nagbabago siya, mag-generate siya ngayon ng current. And dahil naka-close na, constant lang yung current dito, okay, tas hindi na nagbabago, bababa ngayon yung meter. Okay, back to zero. And then when you open the switch, so you now have a changing magnetic field. Nag-change siya kasi from a constant magnetic field to a from a constant current to a zero current. It generates a changing magnetic field, which again generates a current. And then pag naka-open na siya, wala ng current dumadaan, constant na yung magnetic field dito. Okay, so babalik na ulit siya sa zero. So, ang observation natin dito is you only generate currents and electromotive forces or voltages kapag merong varying na magnetic field. Okay? So, EMF is generated only when there's a varying magnetic field. Okay, how do we describe this varying magnetic field? Okay, we describe it using yung concept ng flux. Okay, now itong concept na ito is hindi na to unfamiliar sa inyo kasi we already discussed what a flux is. Pero in the context of electric field. Okay, so ang sinabi natin is that if you choose a surface, okay, tapos nagpadaan ka ng electric field through that surface, then you have an electric flux, which is defined by yung equation na, so recall, okay, yung electric flux is given by the integral of E dot dA. So ang sinasabi nito is that if you have an electric field that is passing through the surface, then you get, through a given surface, then you get an electric flux. In the same way, pag meron kang magnetic field that is also passing through the surface, then you get a magnetic flux. And we define that magnetic flux in the same way as we define yung electric flux. So it's the integral of B dot dA, or basically it's the integral of B dA cosine phi. Okay, itong phi na to is the angle between B and dA. Okay, and makikita natin yung relationship ng A at saka B dito sa figures na ito. So dito sa unang figure, okay, so sa figure na ito, okay, you have a surface, okay, at yung surface na yan, or yung vector na nagde-define ng surface na yan is this vector. Okay? Vector A. Okay? Now, makikita natin na yung magnetic field passes through this surface in such a way na parallel yung magnetic field at saka yung area vector. Which means na yung angle between B and A is 0. Okay? Kasi parallel yung B at saka yung A sa isa't isa. Okay, if you tilt that surface, okay, tulad ng dito sa pangalawang figure, okay, then yung area vector ninyo, okay, ay oriented na at an angle with respect to the magnetic field. It's oriented at an angle phi. Then we define the flux in terms of this equation, depende kung ano yung angle na yan. And if we orient yung ating area in this way, okay, so yung area vector natin ngayon, makikita natin na perpendicular to sa magnetic field, which means na ang phi is 90 degrees, then you don't have any flux. Okay? So you only have flux if merong lumalabas na magnetic field through that surface area. In these two cases, makikita natin na may field na lumalabas dun sa area. Pero dito, yung area ay, yung surface ng area ay parallel sa B, yung area vector ay perpendicular sa B, okay, which means na walang flux, di ba? Walang dumadaan through the surface na magnetic fields, which is why yung magnetic flux para dito sa third na example na ito is 0. Okay, and that's what we're going to use, okay, to define yung nangyayari dito sa experiment na ito. Okay. Ang idea dito is that, remember na nag-generate ka lang ng EMF if there is a changing magnetic field. To be exact, if the magnetic flux is changing, then you get an EMF. Okay? So, it's important that the magnetic flux is changing. Okay? So, itong expression na ito describes a time-varying magnetic flux, okay, or time-varying magnetic field. Okay? And yung EMF na ma-generate niya is actually the negative of this time-varying magnetic field. Now, this is called Faraday's law of induction. Okay? So, we can also rewrite this as negative d dt ng integral ng b dot dA, okay, or negative ng integral ng dB dt dot dA, okay, plus B dot, so ganito to, B dot dA dt. Okay, so you get a changing flux by either changing yung magnetic field, so time varying magnetic field, or nagva-vary din yung area. Okay, so in this case, in these examples, okay, na makikita niyo dito sa figure, dito nagbabago dito yung tawag dito, yung magnetic field. But you can also see from this example, dito naman nagva-vary yung area. So if you if you have some sort of mechanism para i-tilt yung area na yan, so as that area tilts, nag-degenerate ka ng changing magnetic flux, which then allows you to generate an EMF. Okay, so let's consider this example. So we have a magnetic field between the poles of the electromagnet. So ito yung ating electromagnet. Okay, so yan yung poles ng electromagnet. At yung magnetic field na yan is uniform at any time. Okay, but its magnitude is increasing at a rate of 0.02 Tesla. Okay, so per second. So ang magnitude ng magnetic field is increasing at a rate of 0.02 Tesla per second. How do we express that mathematically? So it's a time rate of change of the magnetic field. So dB dt is equal to 0.020 Tesla per second. Okay. So, yan yung una natin i-consider. dB dt is the time rate of change of the magnetic field. And that is equal to 0.020 Tesla per second according to the given. Now, the area of the conducting loop in the field is 120 square centimeters. Okay, so yun yung makita nyo dyan. Okay, ito pala yung dB dt. Okay, and the total circuit resistance, including the meter, okay, is 5 ohms. Okay. So letter A, find the induced EMF and the induced current in the circuit. So alam natin na ang induced EMF okay, is given by this equation. Okay, so E is equal to negative d phi B dt. Okay, pero ito ay equal sa d dt, negative d dt ng B dot A. Okay, hindi na siya dA kasi sinabi rito na constant o yung area ng conducting loop is constant, hindi nagbabago. Okay. At na-integrate mo na siya over yung area. So, ang mangyayari ngayon is, and of course, yung area vector dito, as defined dito sa figure, ay parallel dun sa magnetic field. So yung angle na phi is equal to 0. So yung dot product ng B dot dA will just simply become B times A. Okay, so yung EMF is equal to, so yung EMF is simply equal to A times D dt dP. Okay. Okay. Okay, so ibig sabihin, ang EMF na mag-generate ay ano yung area? 0 or 120 square centimeters. Okay, so 1 centimeter. Okay, ayusin natin ito. So 100 centimeters, 100 centimeter, 1 meter squared. Okay, times dB dt, at sinabi natin yung dB dt is 0.020 Tesla per second. Okay, so if we do the math, ang nag-generate na EMF is negative 0.24 millivolts. Okay, so saka na natin pag-usapan kung anong significance ng sign na yan. Okay, after a couple of examples and after I discuss another concept. But basically, ang sinasabi lang ng EMF is ang sign na yan is just a direction. So yun yung sagot natin ngayon sa letter A, induced EMF. Oh, and also yung induced current. And since yung current dito, okay, is generated by the EMF and we have this resistance. So basically, yung magnitude lang ng current is just 0.24 millivolts divided by 5 ohms. Remember, this is just a magnitude. We're not yet considering yung direction. Okay, so yung current na generate dito is 0.048 milliamperes. Okay, so we have this voltage and we have this current. Okay, so letter B, if the loop is replaced by one made of an insulator, what effect does this have on the induced EMF and the current? Okay, so basically, pag pilitan mo yan ng insulator, ano bang property ng insulator? So, walang current na dumadaan through the insulator. And the reason kung bakit walang current na dumadaan is because yung resistance niya ay sobrang taas. Okay? And dahil sobrang taas ng resistance, okay, yung current na dumadaan through it is very, very low or pwede natin sabihin na zero. Okay, and in this case, wala kayong mag-generate na current, but you still have an EMF. Okay, so, okay. Now, how do we determine kung ano yung tawag dito, yung signs ng EMF, okay? Direction ng induced na EMF. So, ganito lang yan. Okay, so, titignan natin itong apat na figure as our guide. Okay, if you have this, so dito muna tayo sa letter A. So, if you have this loop, okay, then, i-consider nyo muna syempre yung direction ng area vector. Okay, tapos, there will be two directions. Isang pataas, tsaka isang pababa. Okay, so it's up to you to choose which direction for the area vector gusto mo, di ba? So choose a positive direction for the area vector. Okay, then i-consider nyo na ngayon yung magnetic field. Okay, so consider the magnetic field. Okay. If the magnetic field is constant and hindi naman nagro-rotate yung loop, then you expect na walang flux. Then you will expect na walang change in flux. Okay? Which means na walang induced EMF. Okay? Again, kung hindi nagbabari ang B or hindi nagbabari yung A, then yung flux is not varying, then you don't have an EMF. So, if the magnetic field, katulad dito sa letter A, is increasing in this direction, okay, so nag-increase siya in the same direction as the area vector, which means na yung angle na phi, okay, is between, so in this case, yung angle na phi is between 0 and 90 degrees. Then, yung EMF na mapoproduce, okay, based sa equation na ito, ay negative d phi b dt. Okay? So, ito kasi yung direction ng d phi b dt. Okay? Kasi ito yung nagbabago. Diba? Same direction siya as A. So, this quantity here is positive, which means na ito, okay, will switch yung direction ng EMF. Okay? So, how do we determine yung direction ng EMF? So, again, we use the right-hand rule. So, ituro natin itong thumb in the same direction as the area or the the changing magnetic field. Okay. Okay, so if the increasing magnetic field is in the same orientation as the thumb, okay, ibig sabihin, itong term na ito, d phi b dt, is positive. Okay, now, you curl yung fingers. So, ang curl ng fingers, okay, ay paganyan sa direction na ito. Pero dahil sa negative sign na ito, yung EMF na mapoproduce ay in the opposite direction as kung paano mo kinurl yung fingers. So, kaya yung direction ng EMF is in this direction. Okay. Now, dito sa letter B, in this direction, yung magnetic field ay nagdi-decrease. So, ibig sabihin, etong d phi b dt, yung change in the magnetic field or magnetic flux is negative. So, itong term na ito, okay, yung term na yan is negative. At dahil negative yung term na yan, meron ka pa negative sign doon, okay, yung direction ng EMF is in the same direction as kung paano mo kinurl yung fingers mo. Okay, kasi positive na yung EMF. Now, dito naman sa letter C, yung increasing magnetic field ay in this direction. So, dito, yung angle na B is actually between, angle na phi is actually between 90 and 180. Okay, which means na pag in-apply mo, remember na yung phi b is equal to integral ng b dot dA, which means na itong dot product na ito is negative. At pag negative yung dot product, negative yung flux, at negative din yung change in the flux with respect to time, times a negative sign will give you a positive EMF. And it will have the same direction as kung paano mo kinurl yung fingers. Now, you can also think of it this way. If this is the direction of the increasing field, ito ang direction ng decreasing field, which is yung nakikita natin dito. Okay, so dito yung direction ng decreasing field, ito yung direction decreasing field. So you can interpret this two instances sa B at saka sa C as similar instances. Okay. Now, dito naman, we have decreasing magnetic field in this direction. Okay, again, yung angle between A and B is between 90 and 180, which means na yung flux is negative, pero nagdi-decrease, okay, yung magnetic field, which means na negative ito, tas negative pa ito, then may negative, yung negative times negative is positive, tas may negative sign ka matitira doon, so yung EMF is actually negative. So it will have the direction that is opposite sa kung paano mo i-curl yung fingers. Okay? So that's how you determine yung direction of magnetic field. Okay, so in relation to whether it is increasing or decreasing. Relative to the area vector. Okay? So, then, from there, makukuha niyo yung d phi b dt. Okay? And then, pwede niyo nang ma-determine yung EMF gamit itong equation na ito. So, negative d phi b, or at least yung direction ng EMF gamit yung equation na ito. Okay, so if the flux is increasing, then this is positive, then you have a negative EMF. If the flux is decreasing, okay, tawag dito, then you have a negative time rate of change, then this will be positive. And that's only true if the angle between B and A is between 0 and 90. Okay, but if the angle between B and A is between 90 and 180, then automatic na ito ay negative kasi yung flux ay negative. And then if the flux is increasing, then this is still negative. Okay, then this EMF will become positive. But if the flux is decreasing, then this will become positive, then the EMF will be will be negative. Okay, yun yung case. Okay. Okay, so consider natin itong next example. So example 29.2. So a 500 loop circular wire coil with radius 4 centimeters is placed between the poles of a large electromagnet. The magnetic field is uniform and makes an angle of 60 degrees with the plane of the coil. So it decreases at 0.2 Tesla per second. Okay, so itong nakikita nyo rito is a coil. So coil yan, pero ang nakikita lang natin dyan ay cross section. Okay. Okay. So, meron kang 500 loop circular wire na coil. Paano natin i-consider yan pag more than one na yung ating coils? So, basically, ang gagawin lang natin, okay, simply, is to multiply, okay, yung net effect ng bawat isang coil na yun, or to add yung net effect ng bawat isang coil na yun. So, if you have two coils, then may effect ka due to the one, may EMF ka due to the first coil, and then may EMF ka due to the second coil. And then you simply add those voltage. So if you have N coils, i-add nyo lang lahat ng effect ng N coils na yun. So, ang equation natin ngayon ay magiging equal sa E equals sa negative M times d phi B dt. Now, dito, you have N equals 500. Okay? 500 loops. Okay, tapos yung radius okay, nung coil okay, is 4 centimeters or 0.04 meters. Okay. Tapos yung magnetic field is uniform and makes an angle of 60 degrees as shown in the figure with the plane of the coil. It decreases at 0.200 Tesla per second. So yung dB dt ay equal to 0.200 Tesla per second. So what are the magnitude and direction of the EMF? Okay, so again, uniform yung magnetic field. So pwede natin isulat yung equation for flux as BA cosine phi. So hindi na in integral form. Okay, and so d phi b dt is just equal to dB dt times A cosine phi. Okay, yung area dito ay hindi nagbabago. Now, yung d phi b dt na yan ay equal sa dB dt. Ito yung dB dt is 0.200 Tesla per second. Yung area ng coil is pi times r, which is 0.04 meters squared. And then yung angle between the magnetic field and yung, okay, remember, angle between the magnetic field and the area vector, yung area vector is perpendicular dun sa plane, okay, ng coil. So, yung angle between the field and the area is actually 30 degrees. So, this is cosine 30 degrees. So, d phi b dt is equal then to may nakalimutan ako. Decreases. So dapat may negative sign dito at dapat may negative sign dyan. So yung d phi b dt is equal to equal to some value. Yung ko lang muna dyan. Na ganyan. Okay? So pag minultiply ko to by n, then I get or sige, kunin na natin yung buo. Okay, so we get positive. So 500 times 0.200 Tesla per second times pi times 0.04 meters squared times cosine 30 degrees. Okay, then yung EMF na makukuha natin dito is 0.435 volts. Okay. So ano ang direction ng induced na EMF? Okay. So tignan natin ngayon. So it is decreasing in this direction. Palitan ko ng kulay para mas ano. So it is decreasing in this direction. Okay? Okay, and the angle between dB dt at saka A is between 0 and 90 degrees. So, in that case, yung EMF, okay, so ilalagay mo ngayon yung tawag dito, yung thumb mo in this direction, and yung pag-curl, okay, nung fingers mo ay in this direction. So, ibig ko sabihin, pag kinurl mo yung fingers mo, yung current goes out of the plane dito, and then into the plane dito. Okay, so to convince yourself, i-try nyo na i-curl ngayon yung fingers nyo on the plane of the figure with your thumb pointing at the area. Okay, so it goes in here and it goes out. Here, baliktad pala, sorry. No, sorry. Okay, so curl, so it goes out. Baliktad. So it goes out dito. Hindi, tama pala yung ginawa ko kanina. So it goes out dito. So out of the paper and then into the paper dito sa part ng coil na ito. Okay? Okay. Now, itong example na ito is an example that demonstrates yung changing na area. Okay? So anong nakikita natin dito? Yung magnetic field is actually a constant and it is in this direction. Ang nangyayari dito is that itong coil na ito ay nagbabago yung area dahil relative to the magnetic field, okay, dahil iniikot niyo yung coil. So we can see yung cross section dito sa part B. Okay, so right now yung orientation ng loop dito sa A is the same orientation as this. Okay? Okay, so yung area vector ay pababa. Yung BI in this direction, so the angle between them is 90 degrees. So in this case, yung flux ay 0. Dito, yung area vector ay pataas. Okay, tapos yung B ay towards the right. So yung angle between the area vector and B is also 90 degrees. So 0 din yung flux dito. Pero between these 2 points, okay, meron kang flux. Okay, at yung flux na yan ay nagbabari. Okay. Dito maximum yung flux. Dito maximum yung flux. Kung saan yung angle between B and A ay 0. Parallel yung area vector at saka yung B sa isa't isa. So habang umiikot okay, yung coil na yan, okay, nagbabago yung area and therefore nagkakaroon ka ng changing na magnetic field at saka ng induced na electromagnetic field. So how does it look like? So again, yung area dito is maximum. Sorry, yung flux dito is maximum. Okay, so yung again, sa orientation na ito, you have maximum flux. Okay, now yung flux is indicated by the brown line okay, dito sa figure dito sa baba. Okay, so yung brown na line, maximum yung flux dito. Sinabi natin na dito sa point na ito, 0 yung flux. So 0 yung flux. And then dito sa point na ito, maximum siya ulit pero in the opposite direction. So negative yung flux. Okay, and then dito, okay, 0 ulit yung flux. So ito yung point na yon. And then dito, same direction yung area vector at saka yung B. So maximum yung flux. Now, anong klaseng graph itong brown na line na yan? So you see it's a sinusoidally varying graph. Specifically, okay, yung flux na yan okay, ay equal sa tawag dito, it's similar to a cosine function. Okay, so yung flux ay pwede nating isulat as B times A times cosine, okay, ng omega t. Okay, bakit omega? Kasi nagro-rotate, okay, yung area na ito at the rate of omega. Okay, so if we solve ngayon yung ating EMF, so we have d dt ng phi b, and yung nagbabago dito, yung time dependence dito, dito na didepict. So negative b a, and then derivative ng cosine is negative sine. So sine, negative sine. Okay, so ulitin ko. So E is equal to negative d phi b t equals to negative b a, and then negative sine omega t. Okay, and then may coefficient ka pa na omega. Okay, so we have EMF equals sa omega BA sine omega t. Okay, ano tong function na ito ngayon? So this is a sine function, at ang itsura ng sine function ay itong blue na line. So makikita natin na at pag ganito yung orientation, yung EMF is 0. At pag ganito yung orientation, maximum yung EMF. Pag ganito yung orientation, okay, pag ganito yung orientation, 0 ulit yung EMF. At pag ganito yung orientation, yung EMF is minimum. And then pag ganito yung orientation, 0 ulit yung EMF. Okay? So now, we have this sinusoidally varying function, okay, ng EMF, because we found out na yung area is sinusoidally varying, and therefore yung flux is sinusoidally varying. Okay. Okay, so ang tawag pala sa device na to is an alternator. Okay, so alternator. Okay, so ginagamit yan sa maraming mga applications. Okay, anything na kailangan mo magkaroon ng EMF, okay, as a result of varying magnetic field or varying flux, okay, dun mo pwedeng paggamitan ng ang alternator. So another example is this generator and back EMF in a motor. Okay. So in this example, you have a alternator that produces a sinusoidally varying EMF and hence an alternating current. Okay. So itong figure na ito, okay, shows a direct current DC generator that produces an EMF that always has the same sign. Okay. The arrangement of split rings called a commutator. Okay, so yan yung commutator. Okay. Oops. So ito yung split rings. Okay. So the way that they are arranged reverses the connections to the external circuit at angular positions, which the EMF reverses. Okay. So ang resulting na EMF, okay, ay makikita natin dito sa figure na ito. Now, commercial DC generators have a large number of coils and commutator segments, smoothing out the bumps in the EMF, so that the terminal voltage is not only one directional, but also practically constant. Okay, so itong brush commutator na arrangement is the same as that in the direct current motor discussed dun sa previous na chapter. Pinag-usapan na natin to before. So the motor's back EMF is just the EMF induced by the changing magnetic flux through its rotating coil. So consider a motor with a square, okay, 500 turn coil, 10 centimeters on a side. Okay, so tulad dito sa figure, it's square. Okay, if the magnetic field has a magnitude of 0.200 Tesla, at what rotation speed is the average back EMF of the motor equal to 112 volts. Okay, so just to compare, tignan nyo yung itsura ng commutator dito and dun sa previous na figure. Okay, so hindi siya split ring. Ang tawag dito ay slip rings. Okay, and yung brushes ay hindi connected in the same configuration as the split ring. So magkaiba yung rings. Okay, so ganito yung nangyayari. Now we know na yung electromagnetic field in this case ay sinusoidally varying. Alam natin yun kasi yung flux is sinusoidally varying. In fact, yung flux na nasolve natin before has the form sine omega t. Okay. So if we want to determine yung back EMF na equal sa DC, tawag dito uh, dahil dun sa motor na 112 volts. Okay. So ang gagawin natin is kukunin natin yung average nitong sine function. So syempre kunin mo natin yung tawag dito, yung absolute value niyan, although hindi naman gaano nagmamatter. Okay, and then we take the average of that. Okay, to solve for the average of that, we simply integrate over the whole time and then tawag dito, normalize it. So I'm just gonna write yung equation dito. Okay, so sine omega t dt, so that's simply tawag dito, taking the average from 0 to pi over omega, which is yung omega hindi ba natin alam kasi yun yung sinusolve natin. Okay, pero yung pi over omega is just half cycle. Okay, so paano natin nakuha na half cycle siya? Kasi from t equal to 0 to t is equal to t over 2. So that's 1, kasi ito yung isang period, right? So yan yung isang period. And we only want to take this part. So kaya half the period lang yung kino-consider natin. And below na yung t is just 2 pi over, sorry, 1 over f. Yung t is 1 over f. So 1 over 2f ito. Okay, and yung f, is omega, related to omegas, omega over 2 pi. So f is equal to omega over 2 pi. Okay, so pwede natin itong isulat as, okay, magka-cancel yung 2. So we have pi over omega. Okay, so we're taking the time from t equals 0 to t equals t over 2 or pi over omega. Okay, and syempre normalize natin ito for all for the time t hanggang t over 2. Okay, so ito yung normalization factor. Okay, so what we'll get from this integral, okay, so yung average niyan is sine omega t. Okay, average is equal to 2 over 2 over pi. Okay, so yung average na EMF ngayon, okay, is equal to a number of turns, okay, times omega b times a. Okay, so nakuha yung omega b times a. Well, nakuha natin yan dito. Omega b times a. At ito yung kinukuha natin ng average. So ang average niyan, okay, is 2 over pi. So 2 over pi. Okay, so from here, we know that this is 112 volts. Okay, so yung omega is equal to pi times yung average EMF divided by 2 times n times b times a. So this is pi times 112 volts divided by 2 times 500 times 0.200 Tesla. Okay, times yung area, which is, since ito ay square, so 0.100 meters quantity squared. So yung omega dito is 176 radians per second. Okay. Okay. Knowing yung conversion from radians, okay, remember na ang 1 radian is, or 2 pi radians is 1 revolution. Okay, so pwede natin itong i-convert to 28 revolutions per second. So 28 times siyang iikot in 1 second. Okay, so yan yung kanyang angular velocity. Okay. Again, kung meron kayong tanong, what you can do is take a screenshot of the image kung saan meron kayong tanong. Okay, tapos i-point out nyo yung specific na image or part ng solution na hindi clear sa inyo, tapos i-send nyo sa akin yung send nyo sa email yung ano nyo, yung question niyo. Okay, pati yung figure na yung screenshot. Okay, para maging clear sa akin kung anong san part na ang hindi malinaw sa inyo. Okay. Now let's consider this next problem. Okay, so dito sa problem na ito, this is called the slide wire generator. So ang nangyayari dito is meron kayong wire that is in the shape of the letter U. So it's a U-shaped conductor. So ito yun. Yan. Yan yung U-shaped na conductor. And then, naglalagay kayo ng metal rod on top of the conductor. So ito yung metal rod na ito. Okay. And ang tawag dyan sa metal rod na yan is a slide wire. Kasi that rod actually slides through the U-shaped conductor, over the U-shaped conductor. Yung length ng slide wire na yan is L. Okay, and it forms a circuit. Okay, dun sa tawag dito, dun sa with the U-shaped conductor. So there's actually current flowing dito. Okay. Now, as itong slide wire na ito moves towards the right, nag-generate siya ng EMF. Okay, so bakit siya nag-generate ng EMF? Kasi ito, may area siya. Then pag nag-move siya dito, nagbago yung area. So the magnetic field is, even though the magnetic field is constant, yung area ay nagbabago. So yung flux dito ay nagbabago as a result of the changing area. So yung flux, dinefine natin as BA cosine phi. In this case, anong direction ng B? Ang direction ng B ay pababa into the page. At yung direction ng area, okay, remember we can choose yung direction ng area. So since ito yung area na pinag-uusapan, yan yung plane ng area, we can choose the area vector to be in the same direction as the magnetic field para yung cosine phi is equal to 0. So area vector is chosen to be in the same direction as B. Okay, so ang mangyayari dito ngayon is flux ay equal sa B times A. Okay, now nagbabago yung flux because of the change in magnetic field. So d phi B dt is equal to B, constant yung B, pero nagbabago yung area. So yung EMF is equal to negative d phi B dt equals to negative B dA dt. Now yung area is nag-increase. So yung dA dt dito is 0. Positive. Okay, now, paano natin i-relate yung area na yan dito sa V? Okay, so, yung length na to Okay, hindi naman yan nagbabago. Okay? So constant yung length na yan. Instead, ang nagbabago or ang nagbabago is, or ang alam natin is that meron siyang velocity na b. Okay, so how do we define yung area? So, ang kailangan natin is itong distance na ito. Okay. Let's say na yung distance na yan is dx. Okay, as this moves, okay, yung dx na yan is just equal to v times dt. Okay, na kung saan yung dt is the time from here to here. So yung time from there to there is dt. Multiply nyo yan by v, then you get dx. So once we know dx, multiply that by l, then we also get dA. So ito ngayon magiging b times LV, okay, L times V, yan yung times dt, okay, L times V dt, yan yung dA natin, di ba, yung area. And then divide pa natin yung by dt. So this cancels out. Okay, so we have yung EMF equals sa negative PLV. Okay, so anong sinasabi nung negative sign dyan? Okay, so if we use the right-hand rule, ituturo natin yung thumb dun sa area vector, right? Okay, and if ituro niyo yung thumb niyo dyan sa area vector, yung thumb, yung iba niyong fingers magka-curl in this direction. At dahil negative sign yan, yung EMF is actually in the opposite direction kung paano nagka-curl yung fingers. Okay, so ito yung direction ng EMF. So you have positive here, negative here, which means na yung current ay magpo-flow in this direction. Okay, so yun yung ibig sabihin ng negative sign dyan. So the current is flowing in a counterclockwise direction. Okay. Now itong next example, okay, is the same example. Okay, except na ang pag-usapan natin dito is yung work at saka yung power. Okay. So in this generator, slide-wire generator, energy is dissipated in the circuit owing to its resistance. Saan yung resistance? Kasi yung conductor na ito, merong resistance yan. Okay. Let's say na yung resistance niya is R. Okay. So let the resistance of the circuit be R. Okay. So the resistance is the circuit. Let the resistance of the circuit up the moving slide wire and the U-shaped conductor that connects the ends of the slide wire. So up, okay, of the moving slide wire and the U-shaped conductor that connects the ends of the slide wire. So yan, U-shaped conductor that connects the ends. So nandiyan yung resistance. Yan yung resistance na R. Okay, at a given point in the slide wire motion is R or BR. So find the rate at which energy is dissipated in the circuit. Okay, and the rate at which work must be done to move the rod through the magnetic field. Okay, so we know na yung EMF is equal to negative BLV. Okay, from the previous problem. Now, yung current, if you ignore yung sign muna, is given by tawag dito absolute value ng E over R. So that's B, L, and P divided by R. Yan yung current. Now, we know that yung power ay equal sa I squared R. So, equal to ngayon sa BLV over R squared times R. So, yung power is equal to B squared L squared V squared over R. Okay, so, yan yung power na na-dissipate. Okay, ano ba yung power na yan? Okay, so that's the power that is dissipated through the through this section of the wire. Okay, now ano tong power na ito? This is the dissipated power. This is dissipated dito sa section ng wire na ito. Okay, so the rate at which energy is dissipated, yan yung kinompute natin. Okay. Now, ano naman yung rate at which work must be done to move the rod through the magnetic field? So that's the rate, okay, or rate of energy, okay, na kailangan nating i-apply dito, okay, para i-move natin itong rod, okay, through the magnetic field. It takes energy, but then yung energy na yan is also given at a specific rate. Okay, so yun yung i-compute natin ngayon. Okay, so we call that the applied power, and we can get the applied power by noting na yung power is just the dot product of F and V. Okay, but if you consider yung magnitudes lang yan, so we have F times V. So we need to compute yung F. And we know na yung F from yung natin, previous na equation or previous na lesson is I L cross B. Makikita natin dito na yung L is in this direction. So which means na yung I ay nasa direction na yan. And yung magnetic field ay pababa. So yung F is in this direction. Okay. So yung L at saka B ay 90 degrees sa isa't isa, which means na ang sign ng 90 is 0, 1. Diba? Remember, this is sign ng angle phi, where phi is the angle between L and B. Okay, so since phi is equal to 90 degrees, then this is simply yung F, magnitude ng F is just equal to I, L, V. Now, alam natin yung I. Ang I, na-compute natin to be B, L, V over R. So we have L times B then. Okay, so this will give us B squared, L squared, V over R. Okay, so yung power ngayon is since F times V yan, then we get B squared, L squared, B squared over R. Okay, so this is the power that you need para i-move itong slide wire in this direction. And that's the energy that you need to put in, okay, at that specific rate para ma-move nyo yung slide wire na yan. Now notice na pareho lang sila dun sa dissipated power, which dapat lang pareho sila. Kasi ito yung binibigay mong power para mag-move siya. Ngayon, saan mapupunta yung power na binibigay mo? Paladaanin niya dito ibibigay niya yung power na yan dito sa wire. So, yung input power or applied power is given to the wire at yung gagawin ng wire is i-dissipate niya yung power na yan in the form of heat. Okay, so that's a consequence of the conservation of energy. Okay. Okay. Now, there's actually another physics concept that makes things easier, okay, for us to determine yung direction ng magnetic induction. Okay. Okay, so ang concept na yun ay tinatawag na Lenz law. Okay, so Lenz law states na okay, so the direction of any magnetic induction effect is such as to oppose the cause of the effect. Okay. So anong ibig sabihin nito? Okay. So you want to oppose, okay, or yung system wants to oppose yung direction, okay, or so yung magnetic field or yung change ng magnetic field, okay. So hindi niya, in other words, ayaw ng system ng change, okay. So we can look at it this way. Okay, so dito sa figure na ito, we have this loop. Okay? So anong direction dapat nung current? Okay, so it has to be in the direction that opposes yung change. Now, in this example, yung B, or in this figure, yung B is increasing. Yung B is increasing in this direction. Okay, so nagbabago yung B in this direction. Ang gagawin ng system is i-oppose yung change na yun. How does it oppose that? Mag-produce siya ng magnetic field in the opposite direction. Okay, now, if you put your right hand or yung direction, use right hand rule and ilagay niyo yung thumb in this direction, okay, which opposes yung increasing na magnetic field. Okay, so and then ituro niyo yung thumb niyo dyan. So thumb points down there. And pag kinurl niyo yung fingers niyo, makikita niyo na yung pag-curl ng fingers ay paganyan sa direction na ito, which is actually yung direction ng EMF and yung direction din ng current. And that's Lenz's law in action. Okay, so we can apply that dun sa previous na. Okay, so dito sa example na ito. Okay, so makikita natin na dito, okay, so I'm going to use another color. Okay, so dito, nag-increase yung magnetic field in this direction. So you want to oppose that magnetic field in this direction. So ito yung B induced. And pag kinurl niyo yung fingers nyo, okay, ganyan yung direction ng pag-curl ng fingers nyo pag nakapoint yung thumb dito sa induced. Dito naman, this is decreasing. Okay? So, this direction is increasing. So, ibig sabihin, ika-curl niyo yung, ilalagay niyo yung thumb nyo in this direction at pag kinurl niyo yung fingers nyo, okay, habang yung thumb nakaturo sa direction na ito, it will point in this direction. Okay, so kaya ganyan yung direction ng EMF. In the same way, dito sa figure na ito, dito naman, increasing yung magnetic field in this direction. Gusto mong i-oppose yung change na yan. So you have this induced magnetic field in this direction. Diyan yung ilagay yung thumb mo. And yung pag-curl ng ibang fingers will be in this direction. And similarly, kung ito yung decreasing na magnetic field, ito yung increasing na magnetic field, diyan nyo ilagay yung tawag dito. Ito yung increasing na magnetic field. So ibig sabihin, ito yung induced. Okay, at dyan nyo ituro yung thumb nyo. At pag tinuro nyo yung thumb nyo in that direction, your other fingers will curl in this direction. Okay? And ngayon, makikita natin na mas madaling i-describe yung direction ng EMF through Lenz's law. Okay? So again, sinasabi lang ng Lenz's law is that the direction of any magnetic induction effect is such as to oppose yung cause of that effect. So pag nag-increase, gusto mong i-oppose yung increase na yan. Okay, and yun yung magiging basis nyo for determining yung EMF, the direction ng EMF or direction ng current. And dito sa example na ito, or dito sa figures na ito, you have, pag nilalapit nyo yung magnetic field, sorry, pag nilalapit nyo yung magnetic field dun sa coil, so nag-i-increase actually yung magnetic field in this direction. So you want to oppose yung increasing na field na yan. Ito yung induced na magnetic field. At pag nilagay niyo yung thumb niyo dyan, magka-curl yung fingers niyo in this direction. Dito naman, nilalayo niyo yung magnetic field. Okay, papataas. So, nag-decrease siya in this direction. Nag-i-increase siya in this direction. So, yung induced na magnetic field is in this direction. At pag kinurl niyo yung fingers niyo, ganyan yung direction ng pag-curl. Okay, so dito, baliktad. Okay. Okay, decreasing downward flux naman ito. Okay. So, nung binaliktad niya, nagdi-decrease yung, or nag-increase siya in this direction, ito yung induced na yun, and pag ginamit niyo yung right hand rule, ganyan yung direction ng flux. And dito naman, pagpababa. Okay, so nag-increase siya in this direction, dito yung induced, and then dito yung direction ng flux. Okay, so now we can explain ngayon kung anong nangyayari dito. Okay, so dito increasing na flux, yung coil mo. Ito naman ay, pag hinila nyo po taas, decreasing na flux. Okay, dito increasing na flux, ito yung coil. At pag hinila nyo pa pataas, decreasing na flux. Now, dito, okay, ito, ang nangyayari dito is nag-change yung magnetic field over yung time, over that instant na na in-on mo yung switch. Di ba pag in-on mo yung switch, magkakaroon ka ng current, ng change ng current instantaneously. Okay, which means na magbabago din yung magnetic field. Okay, and or pag tinanggal mo yung, o pag naka-on na yung switch, tapos tinanggal mo yung switch, in-off mo yung switch, meron kang change in current from a constant value to zero. So magbabago din yung magnetic field na poproduce ng coil na ito. At yung change na magnetic field na yan, okay, is opposed by this coil. So doon natin malalaman yung direction ng magnetic, nung EMF, induced na EMF. Okay. Okay, so balikan natin konti yung itong slide wire na problem. Okay, ano ba talaga yung nangyayari dito sa slide wire? Okay, so dito sa letter A, ang pinapakita lang dyan ay yung mismong slide wire. Okay, so as yung slide wire moves, okay, with a velocity v, okay, so may velocity dyan. Okay, ang nangyayari is yung charges inside the wire, okay, remember there exist both positive and negative charges. Okay, ay nakakaramdam sila ng force. Okay, yung force na yan is dictated by this equation. F is equal to QV cross B. If this is V, tapos yung direction ng B ay pababa. Okay, which ang ibig sabihin lang yan is yung force, okay, ay nararamdaman ng positive charge in this direction. Pero nararamdaman ng negative charge in this direction. So mangyayari is lahat ng positive charges ay pupunta rito at nung negative charges ay pupunta dyan. Okay, so in some sense, magkakaroon ng parang separation of charges. And that's how, tawag dito, we produce an electric field. Kasi remember, na ang electric field is from the positive towards the negative. Okay, and if we have that electric field, then we know from this equation na meron ding a force applied, okay, dun sa mga charges na yan. Okay, so ngayon mayroon kang electric field between points A and B. Okay, and alam din natin na yung EMF na nai-induced, okay, dyan between points A and B is VBL. Okay, in fact, sorry, if we relate yung expression natin for the voltage between points A and B, recall na yung voltage na yan is just equal dun sa electric field na napoproduce, okay, times yung distance between itong A and B, which is yung length ng wire. So makikita natin na ganyan yung equation. So dito makukuha natin na yung electric field is equal to velocity times the magnetic field. And that has implications later pag diniscuss na natin yung electromagnetic waves. Pero anong implication nito? We see na related, na merong relationship, sabihin na natin intimate relationship between electric field at saka magnetic field just from this simple na example. Okay. We can generalize yung idea, okay, ng ano na to, ang tawag dito ay motional EMF. So this is motional EMF. Okay. Okay, now we can generalize yung expression for the motional EMF. Sinabi kasi natin is just VBL, di ba? Sinabi lang natin na VBL. Pero in general, ito kasi medyo definite kasi yung shape dito sa example na ito. Pero if you have this arbitrary shape dito sa example na to, yung motional EMF na yan is just given by this equation. So V cross B dot DL. Okay. First of all, itong bilog na nakikita nyo rito sa integral means na yan ay line integral. In other words, you're taking the integral over a line. So in this case, ito yung line. Okay, at ito yung line naman sa arbitrary na shape na ito. Okay, and this is tawag dito, in some sense, straightforward kasi Q times E will give us line integral ng Q V cross B dot DL. At yung QV cross B is yung F dot DL. So QE, which is ang F dot DL is nothing but yung work. Okay, so this is the work done in moving this ano nito is in this slide wire. Okay, so yan yung expression natin ngayon for the general expression for the motional EMF. Okay. Now consider natin ito example na ito. Suppose the moving rod in figure 29.15b is 0.10 meters long. So ito ang 29.15, ito yung B, so ito yung pinag-usapan natin figure. Okay, so yung length na yan is 0.10 meters long, or 10 centimeters. The velocity V is 2.5 meters per second. And the total resistance of the loop is 0.030 ohms. And B is 0.6 Tesla. Okay, find the motional EMF and the induced current and the force acting on the rod. So we already know the expression for the motional EMF. So E is equal to VBL. So ang V is 2.5 meters per second. Ang magnetic field is 0.60. Tesla. And yung L is 0.10 meters long. So in this case, yung induced EMF is 0.15 volts. What about yung induced current? So yung induced current, yung makukuha natin from the EMF and then yung resistance. Okay, so yung EMF is 0.15 volts. Yung resistance is 0.030 ohms. So this gives us a current of 5 amperes. Okay, and yung force acting on the rod. Okay, so ano ngayon yung force acting on the rod? We know na yung force is equal to IL cross B, pero yung L dito, and yung B ay perpendicular sa isa't isa. So we can simply write this as ILB. Okay, so yung magnitude ng force is ILB. So 5 amperes times 0.10 meters times 0.60 Tesla. So yung force na ito is 0.30 newtons. So maliit lang yung force. Okay, pero tawag dito, napapamove pa rin niya yung sliding disc. Okay. Okay. Now, let's take a look at this figure and tignan natin kung ano nangyari dito. So what we have here is a coil. Okay, yung indicated by yung black wire. So dahil arrange yung ganyang coil o arrange yung ganyang wire in that manner, ang tawag natin sa ganyan is a solenoid. Okay. Now, we also have a magnetic field okay, through the coil. Pero yung magnetic field na yan is only concentrated dyan sa blue region. So in fact, walang magnetic field na na-experience ang any part of that wire. Okay? So, yung cross-sectional area na nangyayari is this. Okay, so, yung magnetic field ay concentrated lang dyan sa blue area, sa blue region. Any part of the wire does not experience itong magnetic field na ito. Okay, so, ano ang nangyayari dito sa system? First of all, mag-apply tayo ng current through the solenoid, through the wire. Okay, yung current na yan, okay, ay magpo-produce ng magnetic field. Okay. Bakit siyang produce ng magnetic field? Kasi ano yung magnetic field na mapoproduce niya? Well, we know na mayroon siyang, pag meron kang wire, okay, di ba? Ang ipoproduce niya magnetic field is just given by mu naught times I times the number of turns. Okay. Okay, so yung flux ngayon through that wire is B times A. Okay, makikita natin yung cross-sectional area is in the same orientation as the magnetic field na napoproduce. Okay, and yung direction ng magnetic field makukuha nyo from the right hand rule. Diba? Ika-curl nyo lang yung fingers nyo dun sa, ituturo nyo muna yung fingers nyo dun sa direction ng current, tapos ituturo, malalaman nyo na from the right hand rule kung anong direction ng magnetic field. Okay, so phi B is equal to B times A, and yung B is mu naught N times I times A. Okay, then, if we vary yung current, okay, so pag binary natin yung current, o yung current na yun ay varying, so vary the current, so mention time dependence, so ibig sabihin, magkakaroon din ng time dependence yung flux. Okay, so mu naught N A times di dt. Okay. And of course, yung EMF is equal to negative d phi b dt. Yung EMF na po-produce is d phi b dt equals to mu naught N A times di dt. Okay. So, if we have, let's say we have this coil, idagdag natin tong coil na to. Single loop lang siya. Okay? Which is a radius larger than the solenoid. Okay? And it's also outside the magnetic field. So, hindi niya na-experience yung field na yan. Okay? Anong mangyayari dyan sa coil na yan? Okay, so, yung coil na yan ay produce yung EMF na ito, given by this expression. Okay, so the EMF that we're actually solving is the EMF inside this coil or through this coil. Ano yung EMF na mapoproduce niya? So it should oppose yung di ba, yung magnetic field. Okay, so yung EMF na mapoproduce niya ay in this direction if you follow the right hand rule. Okay. Saan galing ngayon yung EMF na yan? Yung EMF na yan galing dun sa pag-oppose niya ng coil na ito nung magnetic field dun sa region dun sa blue region. Okay. Now, ibig sabihin, mag-move yung wire, mag-move yung charges inside that loop. Okay. Now, unlike dun sa sliding wire kanina, yung loop na to is not inside the magnetic field. So, may mga charges kang umiikot around this loop. Okay, pero anong nagko-cause nung pag-move ng mga charges na yun? So, anong force, in other words, yung magko-cause ng pag-move ng charges inside that wire? Okay, so it's not the magnetic field, but it's actually an induced electric field. Okay, now, na-encounter na natin before, yan, dito sa example na ito. Okay, so dito, sinabi natin na if we apply tawag dito, a magnetic field, then we have a separation of charges, positive dito tsaka negative dito. So nagpo-produce ka ngayon ng electric field dito. So you have induced electric field, which causes yung charges dito to move in this direction. Okay? Hindi dito hindi dito, kundi dito sa U-shape na conductor. Yung pag-move ng charges na yan is a result of this electric field. Okay? Of this electric field. Not of the magnetic field. And ganun din yung situation dito sa coil na ito. So because of the electric field, or because of the induced electric field, nagmo-move ngayon yung mga charges na yan. Okay, so ibig sabihin yan na we can actually relate yung EMF, okay, with the electric field that is present. Okay, since using Gauss law, okay, using yung line integral ng E dot dl, okay, we can relate yung electric field in that way. Okay, so saan galing yan? So yung force is so yung work done is just Q times E, and Q times yung electric field dot dl, okay, is nothing but F dot dl, okay, and that's just the work done. Okay, so we have this EMF which is equal to E dot dl. Pero yung integral ng E dot dl which is equal to the EMF, at yung EMF equal naman sa negative d phi b dt. Okay, so anong sinasabi ng equation na ito? Sinasabi ng equation na ito is if you have a time-varying flux, then you can produce an electric field. So you have an induced electric field as a result of the time-varying flux. So this is called Faraday's law, okay, for a stationary integration path. Okay, so anong implication nito? Implication nito is that because of the time-varying flux, nagpo-produce ka ng electric field. And again, this is another clue na merong relationship between the magnetic field at saka electric field. Okay, now let's consider this example. Okay, suppose the long solenoid in figure 29.18a, so ito yung 29.18a, yan yung solenoid na dyan, has 500 turns per meter and a cross-sectional area of 4 centimeters squared. The current in its windings is increasing at 100 amperes per second. So again, yung N ay equal sa 500 turns. Yung cross-sectional area is already given for square centimeters. Yung multiply lang natin to by this conversion para makuha yung area. And then yung increasing current is di dt. Okay, so 100 amperes per second. So letter A, find the magnitude of the induced EMF in the wire loop outside the solenoid. Okay, so magnitude of the induced EMF. So kung magnitude lang ang pinag-usapan, then we simply write E is equal to d phi b dt is equal to mu naught times N times A times di dt. Okay, so yung E ay equal sa 4 pi times 10 to the minus 7, okay, Weber per ampere meter times 500 turns, okay, per meter. Okay. And then yung area na 4 times 10 to the minus 4 meters squared. And then yung change in current, rate of change of current. So yung EMF ngayon is equal to 25 microvolts. Okay, so yan yung absolute or magnitude ng induced na EMF. Okay, ano naman yung magnitude ng induced na electric field? Okay, so we get that from taking the line integral of E dot dl and equating it to the EMF. Okay, ano ba tong line integral na to? Constant naman yung electric field. Okay, so constant yung electric field na mapoproduce. So pwede natin siya ilabas sa integral. So we have this integral ng dl times yung EMF. Pero yung integral ng dl, okay, is nothing but yung circumference ng loop, which is 2 pi r. So E times 2 pi r is equal to E. So ang electric field natin ngayon is equal to E over 2 pi r. So 25 microvolts, so 25 times 10 to the minus 6 volts divided by 2 pi. Tapos yung radius kay nung loop. Okay, so sinabi natin na ang cross-sectional area is 4 square centimeters. So we're going to use that number. Okay, so ang cross-sectional area is 4 times 10 to the minus 4 meters squared. And divide natin yan syempre by 2 pi. Okay, kasi cross-sectional area. Cross-sectional area pala to. So, wait. So if the area is pi r squared, then that means that area over pi square root is equal to r. Okay, so yun yung ilalagay natin yan dito. So, titingnan natin. Okay, so yung r, sorry, nilagay na pala dito ng radius is 2 centimeters. So, 2 centimeters is 0.02 meters. Okay. So yung E is equal to 2 times 10 to the minus 4 volts per meter. Okay. So yan yung electric field na induce as a result of the tawag dito, of the EMF that was produced. Okay, so one last topic. Okay, and this involves yung idea ng eddy currents. So let's consider itong metal disc. Okay, yung metal disc na yan ay nagro-rotate through a magnetic field. Pero yung magnetic field ay concentrated lang dyan sa blue na area. So dyan sa blue na area, every time it reaches or every time a portion of the disc hits that area, in this case, yung portion na pinag-uusapan dito ay itong area na ito defined by OB. Okay, every time that area is hit, okay, nagkakaroon ka ngayon ng induced na current. Okay, alam natin yan kasi kakaaral lang natin. Now, how does that current flow? Paano nagpo-flow yung current na yan? Well, it flows in this direction. Okay, so pwede siya mag-flow dito. Okay, or pwede siya mag-flow in this direction. Okay, so itong areas na ito, these are just arbitrary areas. It could be anywhere. Okay, so pwedeng dito yung flow ng current, pwedeng doon. Okay, so in other words, ang point lang dyan is merong current na nagpo-flow dyan. And pag inayos natin yan, ganito yung magiging itsura ng current flow. Now, yung current na yan are called eddy currents. So, kaya chat na eddy currents ay dahil sa they resemble yung parang eddies sa river, yung mga umiikot na maliliit na parang whirlpool dun sa mga river, sa mga bodies of water na nakikita ninyo. Okay? So, yan ang tawag niya sa mga eddy currents na yan. O yan tawag sa mga currents na yan. So, now, again, it only occurs pag meron ka nung, ito, area lang, a certain area lang, a certain portion lang dun sa disk na na-expose sa magnetic fields. Okay, and pero yung applications ng eddy currents ay in fact marami. Okay, at isang application niya ay itong metal detector. Okay, so ang ginagawa kasi ng metal detector na ito is nag-emit siya ng magnetic field. Okay, and nire-read out niya yung current. Okay, or sorry, nag-emit siya ng magnetic field by applying current. Okay, dito. Okay, now if there's a metal, yung magnetic field in this region ay mababago. So, di ba ayaw nga ng change, okay, nung system. So, in other words, magbabago rin yung current para ma-prevent niya yung change na yan. Okay? So, ito ngayon yung induced na magnetic field at ito yung induced na current or yung eddy, yung eddy currents dito, okay, produces yung magnetic field na ito which changes yung current na nandito. Okay, so that's one application of the eddy currents. Okay, so we can apply yung idea na yan dito sa Ampere's law. Okay, finally, tignan natin itong system na ito. Okay, so ang gusto natin gawin dito is i-determine kung ano yung line integral, kung ano yung relationship between yung magnetic field at saka electric field further. Okay. We'll begin with yung Ampere's law. Okay, so Ampere's law states, it's Ampere's law for magnetic field. So Ampere's law states that B dot dl is equal to mu I and then enclosed. And remember, yung enclosed na yan is that kasi kung ano ini-enclose na line, okay, yun yung mapoproduce. Kung ano yung ini-enclose ng magnetic ng coil, yun yung tawag dito, may mapoproduce na magnetic field. Okay, so ang i-consider natin dito is itong surface na ito na ini-enclose itong capacitor. So tignan natin yung two sections dito. Okay, dalawang section. Ito yung isang section at ito yung isang section. So itong section nito enclosed yung wire nito. But itong section nito has no wire dito. Okay? Makikita natin na yung Ampere's law na ito is actually incomplete. Okay? So let's begin here. Okay, so itong path na to, napipiliin natin to apply itong Ampere's law na to, okay, will allow us to get yung current through this wire. Okay, so all is well lang dyan. Okay, so AB dot DL is equal to mu times IC. Okay. Now, any path na piliin natin dito to the left of the surface of the capacitor, okay, ay okay lang. Pero once we reach this section, okay, so dito, okay, piliin natin itong area na yan, okay, wala na tayong tawag dito, wala na tayong current kasi walang wire. Pero medyo contradicting yun dito kasi we're talking about the same surface. Okay, pero if it's the same surface, bakit dito meron kang current pero dito wala kang current? So there has to be some sort of correction. Okay, so we can do that, okay, by taking a look at kung ano nangyayari dito sa capacitor. So sa capacitor, yung charge dyan sa capacitor is given by C times yung voltage. Okay, and if you recall, yung capacitance is just yung permittivity times area divided by D. Okay, now, yung permittivity na ginagamit natin dito ay permittivity, general permittivity. So, hindi lang permittivity in free space. So, kaya walang subscript yan. Yan yung capacitance. And then, of course, yung voltage, okay, if this is D, okay, then it's just E times D. Okay. So, equal ngayon to sa E times E over, epsilon times E over A. Now, according to, this is called the electric flux, di ba? So, this is phi E. So, epsilon times phi E. Now, we can get yung current inside the capacitor. So, let's say, ano ko muna, no? Current, okay, through the capacitor by taking the derivative of Q with respect to T. And if we do that, we're essentially taking the derivative of the electric flux with respect to T. Now, ang tawag natin dito sa current na to is a displacement current. Okay, and yung current na yan sort of exists in the region between the plates. So it's a correction term para dun sa Ampere's law. And if we do that, yung Ampere's law ngayon can be written as B dot dl mu naught times IC, okay, which is ito, plus ID, which is yung displacement current, okay, na enclosed. Okay, so this is the generalized Ampere's law. Okay, so now we now have a complete set of equations, okay, that describes what are called Maxwell's equations. Okay, so Maxwell's equations are actually four equations that were derived by other physicists, by other scientists. So, ano yung mga equation na yun? So, you have Gauss' law for electric field given by hindi yan line integral. So, given by E dot dA equals Q enclosed over epsilon naught. You also have Gauss' law for magnetic field. Yan ay B dot dA equals 0. Okay, and as you know, ang ibig sabihin nito is that there are no magnetic monopoles. Okay, then you have Faraday's law. Okay, na-discuss natin kanina. So this is a line integral ng E dot dl equals negative d phi b dt. And you have Ampere's law, nakaka-discuss lang natin, with the correction term. Okay, so B dot dl equals mu naught IC plus ID enclosed, or mu naught times IC plus epsilon naught d phi E flux, rate of change ng flux, ng electric flux. Okay. Okay, enclosed. Okay, so these are four equations by Gauss, Faraday, and Ampere's. Pero collectively, we call them Maxwell's equations. Okay, and the reason for that is Maxwell's equations actually describe yung relationship ng electric field tsaka magnetic field. So si Maxwell yung nakadiscover how related yung electric field tsaka magnetic field sa isa't isa. In fact, we can write, okay, so remember this is flux, this is flux. Okay, so we can write yung Faraday's law as E dot dl equal sa, from here, we have negative d dt, and then yung magnetic flux, which is integral ng B dot dA. And then you can write Ampere's law as B dot dL. Okay, equal sa, okay, kung yung ano lang, yung ID lang, okay, mu naught, epsilon naught. So, ang kinoconsider lang natin is this part, ano, yung, so d dt integral ng electric flux. Okay, so E dot dA. Okay, so you have a changing magnetic field that causes an induced electric field. You have a changing electric field that causes an induced magnetic field. Okay. And yan yung na-discover ni Maxwell. Okay, so we'll explore more on this matter, okay, pagdating natin sa next na chapter. Okay, for now, ito na yung lesson natin. Ito, hanggang dito lang yung coverage ng exam. And hindi na tayo magkakaroon ng video lessons. Instead, magsasend na lang ako ng exercises, solve exercises from the 3 chapters na i-upload ko sa ating Google Calendar.